I am Gregory Hallows, and this is Preserve Halloween Podcast. So once again, I have kind of decided to wait until I'm driving to record another podcast. I really enjoyed being able to do it this way last time I recorded. I did skip a week, had just so much going on last week I wasn't able to record a podcast, but I really enjoyed doing these in the car because there's no one around. Don't have to worry about my children running in and screaming something ridiculous and then having to start all over. And I usually don't edit the podcast very much because I'd like it to sound like it's a conversation, so any of the mistakes or, the way I sound, I want that to be genuine. So I don't really edit much. But this week, I really wanted to, discuss what's going on with what I'm doing. I have a lot of things going on behind the scenes and with, a lot of projects. And I just kind of wanted to update the people who don't really check out the social media or Facebook or Instagram or any of that stuff, because there's a lot of people that only find out what I'm doing from the podcast or from another way than social media, which basically is just the podcast. So if you haven't heard, my biggest news, what's keeping me extremely busy and has me worried and excited and just not sure I'm gonna be able to pull off the show that I want to, and I want to make everybody happy. It's that whole, just not ever thinking it's good enough, which, a lot of people go through, which I like to share because I think people need to hear that someone else is going through the same thing as them. But I am doing the Preserve Halloween Festival in November. I want to thank Matt at Halloween Daily News for doing the YouTube video and also, posting an article about it. That was, very, very helpful for me. He has a ton of followers and, a lot of people I'm hoping will find out about the show that way. It's still, it seems so far off, but for planning and things like that, it's very close because there's so much that has to be done. So that's what's been keeping me crazy busy. If you haven't heard, we just announced Erie Vaughn, who was the unofficial photographer for the Misfits and was also in Danzig, and Sam Hain. And I'm assuming that's how you say that band name, because I would think you would call it Samhain, but I don't think they ever said it that way. So I think the band, and now I, getting more and more into Halloween history and the way you pronounce things, which I do wrong a lot. Now I'm questioning whether that band was supposed to be called Samhain, and they just weren't. So anyway, so Erie was the bass player for the original versions of both those bands. Also Rosemary's Babies. He's a photographer, wonderful photographer. He's got a book out all about, the photos he took while basically giving, he was the only one allowed to take photos of Misfits. So, there's so much that he was able to capture. I think there's another book planned, second book. He's also a painter, artist, solo artist now. So I was very excited to be able to get him to the festival in Irving in November. We'd already announced Joe Bob Briggs, Darcy the Mail Girl, Peter Robbins, the original voice of Charlie Brown, Zach Andrews and Bobby Rowe, who are the writer, producer, actors, pretty much anything for one of my favorite movies, and I talk about it all the time, The House is October Built and its sequel. I absolutely love those movies, and I'm very excited to be able to bring those guys to the show. Do have some more guest announcements coming. I'm still working on trying to get a few more. I just want I don't want to go overboard for the first year because I'm worried if I do that, then there might not be a second year, but I really want to make this an annual thing. I absolutely love putting on events, and I'm very excited about being able to do one for Halloween because it just doesn't feel like work. I mean, it is time consuming and drives me crazy, and I want to pull my hair out and constantly worried about, is this something people are going to want to see? But at the end of the day, I love it, and I just can't wait to meet a lot of the people that support me, but I haven't met them yet. It's all online or, through emails or, whatever way. Because this past year haven't been able to do any events, so I haven't been able to go out and do shows and meet the people that, like the Preservation Society or, talk about it with people in person. Because a lot of times it just takes a conversation to tell people, hey, this is what I'm doing, this is my goal. There is a person behind this, it's somebody that's really, running all this. I like to talk to people and meet them and just share stories about why we all love Halloween. So I really can't wait to get back to in-person things. The last one I did, I think, was way back in Charlotte. It was a wonderful show. I met a ton of people, but that was it. I didn't have a chance to do another one after that, and I really miss being able to go to events and meeting people, and it's just something you can't replicate with online or virtual events. I mean, those are great for certain things, but for me, you can't replace actually talking to somebody. So as you can tell, this podcast is going to be pretty much me rambling because I have so much in my head that I don't always write down or get out eloquently. Try to get it out as much as possible, but I'm very excited about the show coming up, and I hope that people want to be there. I really am excited about the vendor applications I'm getting, and there's still, please apply to be a vendor on the website. I love looking through the pages and the the Etsy shops and all the stuff that I'm getting, and people sending me their them wanting to be a part of it, and I just love seeing all that new everything. And I've talked to a lot of people that want to help out any way they can, and it's great that the Halloween community is the way it is. There's so many people that just want to make it thrive and love everything about Halloween, and that's great, because I mean that's kind of the whole point of this is yes, I want to preserve and archive and write about the history of the holiday and everything to do with it, but I also really enjoy talking to people and finding out their side of why they love Halloween and their stories and their experiences, because it's not about me, honestly. I find it very difficult sometimes to talk about what I'm doing because I feel like it's kind of nobody wants to hear it, or it's the same mentality that most creative people have, because they want to be creative and they want to create these things, but they don't want to talk about it after they've done it, or they don't want to tell anybody about it, or they feel some kind of anxiety of talking about it, or not really bragging, but just some people think just talking about what they've created or done or whatever is people are like, I don't want to hear about it, and I get that a lot. And that's natural, I think, because if you don't feel that way, I think there's probably something wrong. Like if you don't care that you're always talking about yourself, then maybe you're not. I don't know. I don't want to offend anybody, but yes, I'm very excited. November cannot come fast enough, but it also scares me that it's so close because there's still so much to do. There's so many things left to plan, and I can't wait to, talk more about the things that I have planned, because I do have, an idea of what I want to do. I don't know if it'll work out, but I'm gonna try my best to do it the way that I have it in my head, which always doesn't work out, but we'll see. But I really want you guys to, give me your ideas. If you have any vendors that you think would be a great fit for the show, please, let them know about the website and to go to that's preservehalloweenfest.com. That's where all the information is about the show. There's tickets for sale right now. It's just whatever you need to know, it is on that website. So preservehalloweenfest.com, or you can email me at preservehalloween@gmail.com, or find me on Facebook, on Instagram. I try to answer every question I get. Sometimes it takes a while, but I try to get to them as quickly as I can. And I think that's probably might be the podcast for this week. I'm researching a few things. I did want to mention, if you missed the Framingham Museum's Dennison Zoom meeting, or Zoom, I don't know what it's called, but they got a bunch of Dennison archivists and people that collect Dennison products, and they got them together and they talked about their collections, and they went over the history of Dennison as a manufacturer of, all these wonderful Halloween items. It was wonderful. I watched it. I finally got the email because I missed the original broadcast of it, and it was, I felt horrible because I talked about it for so long ahead of it, and then I couldn't make it. But I got the video of it, and oh man, it was just great. So if you have a chance, I don't know if you can get it after the fact, but it was a wonderful presentation. Everyone involved was just so proud and happy to share their collections. It was so fun to see. It was just great. And thank you again to Matt, like I said, from Halloween Daily News, for talking about the festival. And I sincerely apologize that this podcast is, so one-sided. I do have a lot of things in the works. I can't wait to share research and other interviews, and just so much going on right now. I do have a super new project that I am working on that I will talk to you about later, but like I said, always preserve Halloween.